All right, for the last stuff in your packet, we're going to be looking at rational exponents. So if you kind of look at this page, notice that all of the exponents have a fraction. So that's basically what rational exponents are working with. So your exponent is a fraction. And to simplify it, we're going to be using this symbol. So I don't know why I like it. I feel like I'm writing in code, but even if you don't like it, I'm sure you can figure it out. So looking at the top part, it says a to the power m divided by n. So the m stays with the a, our base, and the denominator of your fraction n goes in front of what is normally the square root symbol. So, for example 1, my base is x, right? The big number or letter here is x, not a. So I'm going to write x. And I know I'm going to have this little square root symbol, so I'm going to go ahead and put that and then come back with my exponents. So if you want to, go ahead and set up 2 and 3. Just write the base underneath the radical symbol. Okay, so this is a radical symbol. All right, so back to the exponents. 1, we said was on top, so that is my m, which means it goes inside the radical. So I'm going to put the 1 right here next to the x, which is my base. And then the 2, that's the number on the bottom, the n, that goes in front. So I'm going to have 2 in front of that radical. Okay, so having this all together in one color, I'm going to have 2 radical x. And I am not going to write the 1 because any base that's written by itself, we should know automatically that the exponent means 1. So this is all I'm going to have for example 1. So before you continue on, I would do numbers 1 through 4. So that's very similar to example 1, and then go work with the negatives. So pause the video, go do that. Okay, so you should be done with the first 4, so now let's work with our negative exponents. So remember, if we have a negative exponent, if we put it on the opposite side, that will be positive. So I could begin by rewriting this as 1 over 343 to the positive exponent of 1 over 3. Okay, and I'm going to rewrite this so it doesn't look so horrible. Okay, so when you have the positive fraction, you could just rewrite the bottom. So 343, that's my base, that goes inside. The number on top goes inside, so that's a 1. The number on the bottom goes in front, so I have a 3 here. And I'm not done. I still have this 1 on top, so I'm going to leave it on top. Okay, and I just wrote that in blue. So finishing it, I'm going to have 1 over. So I went from the black to the blue, and I just rewrote the denominator so that it has a radical symbol, not a fraction. And then again, you could rewrite it without the exponent 1 because we should know that this has an exponent of 1. Okay, another one, we have 4 to the negative 3 over 2. So again, we want to make that a positive exponent, so I'm going to bring that down here. So I have positive 3 over 2. Okay, and I'll write it sideways. Maybe this will make more sense. So the 1 over doesn't change, so I'm going to keep that. My base is 4, so I'm going to put that inside the radical. My numerator is 3, so that goes inside. So I'm going to have a cubed here. And remember that that base needs to really look a lot bigger. And then the denominator goes in front, so you've got a 2 there. So now I would go ahead and do 1, 2, and 3. So go ahead and finish those first. Go ahead and finish 1 and 2 first, and then come back to this once you finish those. So do 1 and 2. Okay, so you should have those finished, but looking at 3, 4, and 5, we have multiple steps to this problem. So I'm going to go ahead and do number 4, but just know 3 is very similar. So number 4, my base is 1 over 16. Okay, remember when I have two bases being multiplied, I add my fractions. So 1/2 plus a negative 1/2 is 0. So if you want to check that, 1/2, I'm going to do 0.5 plus negative 0.5, 0. So you can try that with fractions if you don't believe me, but it's definitely 0. And then 1 over 16 to the power of 0, that's just 1. So you don't have to rewrite all of these. I would simplify it first, and then at the very, very end, if you have a fraction as your exponent, then change it into radical form. Okay. So number 3, you will need to rewrite it. Add those fractions using your calculator if you're not sure how to do it. Number 5, use the product or power of a product rule. Multiply what you need to there, and then simplify. I do not want any more negative exponents. Okay. Page 18 really isn't bad. It's just a couple definition words. So the number in front is called an index. And this is called a radicand. Okay, so the index tells you which square root to take. So if you have a 2 out here, we call that the square root, and that's the most common one. But if you had a 3, it would be a cube root, 4, fourth root, and from there you just keep saying the numbers. So inside, this is called a radicand, so just basically anything under the symbol. So for the rest of this page, it looks scary, but it's not. Use your calculator, fill this in, and then see if you can figure out the pattern. You can look through your packet because some of those rules can help you here.